Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama, Hare Hare. Manasi, are you able to hear me?
Yes, Mataji.
Matjnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakya Chakshannidamena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sapitamena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Tadamhyam Tadandi Swapadandiham Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Udak Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunātha Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahrana Lalita Shri Vishada Vinamsha He Krishna Pavataruna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanda Radha Kanda Namosude Taptakanjana Gaurangi Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Shabana Sude Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vanjakalpatarubhasya Kripasindhubhya evacha Patitana Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimade Bhaktivedanta Swamini Namini Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauramani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashati Deshtarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, everyone. So today we'll see the pastimes with Jagadānanda Paṇḍita and Bhaṭṭa Gosvāmī from 109. Now we finished till 108 yesterday. Okay. When Ramadasa Vishwasa met Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Lord did not show him any special mercy. Although this was their first meeting, within his heart, Ramadas Vishwasa was an impersonalist who desired to merge into the existence of the Lord. Okay, so impersonalist means Mayavadis. Okay, so what does Chaitanya Mahaprabhu say about Mayavadis? What is Mahaprabhu's opinion about Mayavadis? Mayavadi is
Krishna Aparati.
Aishi, very good. Oh, you're listening to the class. Good. So Mayavadi, Krishna Aparati. Okay, why do we say Mayavadis are Krishna Aparati? Why Mayavadis are called Krishna Aparati? Good, but why they are called so? Why they are called Krishna Aparati? You can guess.
They deny the supremacy of Krishna.
Good. They deny the supremacy of Krishna. They deny his form also, no, Deepti Mataji?
Yes, Mataji.
So just imagine Krishna is Tripanga Lalita Sundara. He is having three bended form, and Bhagavatam explains Barha Pitam Natavaravapu Karnayo Karnikaram Vipratvasa Kanaka Kapisham Vaichayantim Chamala Randran Veno Adhara Sutarya Purayan Gopavrinde Vrindaranyam Sopadanamanam Pravishat Gita Kirti. Bhagavatam explains the beautiful form of Krishna with peacock feathers and flute and yellow dhoti and everything. So that means all the scriptures say that Krishna is having such a beautiful form, and Mayavadi is having Krishna doesn't have a form. Like, how do you feel when guests come to your house and you made gulab jamun with your own hands? In the sense, you didn't get the dough from the market. You made it your own, you know, so much hard work you put on and you made, and or for example, anything, paneer, you made that paneer at home, not like brought from the market. Then so much time with the milk and everything, you struggled so much and made. And they said they says that this paneer is not made by you. How do you feel? You could put a lot of effort and made it from home. It's homemade, or a ghee for that matter. You made it from home, and they say it's not homemade. You feel so much frustrated, no? Oh, I did so, you know. So similarly, Krishna has such a beautiful form, and the Mayavadis are saying Krishna doesn't have a form. Nirakar, Nirguna. Yes, it's Krishna doesn't have a form in the sense Krishna doesn't have material form. Yes, spiritual form. Sachidananda Vigraha. right? So they say that. So Mayavadis are Krishna aparatis. They are doing aparat to Krishna. They are saying Krishna doesn't have a form. Krishna has a beautiful form. That's like offense to the Lord. No, so Krishna aparadi, and we should not associate with them. Asat sangatyagaye Vaishnavachar. We should not associate. Mayavadi Bhashya Sunila hoy Sarvanash. That's what Mahaprabhu says. If you hear from Mayavadis, Sarvanash for our devotional service. And so why Mahaprabhu didn't give respect to Ramadasa? Because he was an impersonalist, which Mahaprabhu didn't like, who desired to merge into the existence of Lord, which is called, put in the chat, what mukti is that called? To merge into the existence of Lord. And he was very proud of his learning. This is another quality which Krishna doesn't like. The devotee is becoming proud. Yeah, very good. Sayuja mukti, right? Sayuja means to merge into the existence of Lord, like a bubble in the ocean. What does a bubble do? The bubble breaks and it gets merged to the ocean. Again, after some time, the bubble is recreated. But devotees are like fish or shark in the ocean who likes to dive in Bhakti Rasam Sindhu. Right? Since Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is omniscient, supreme personality Godhead, he can understand the heart of everyone. Why? Because he is in the heart of the Mayavadis also, no? Krishna is in the heart of Mayavadis, and thus he knew all the things. So Mahaprabhu didn't entertain Ramadasa because he's a Mayavadi. Ramadas Vishwasa then took up residence in Jagannath Puri and taught the Kavya Prakasha to the Patnaika family, the descendants of Bhavananda Raya. Who was Bhavananda Raya? Whose father? Whose father is Bhavananda Raya? He had 5 sons. Yes? Who's? Ramananda Rai. And Bhavananda Rai is Bhavananda Rai is who in Krishna Lila?
Pandu Maharaj.
Pandu. Very good. He's Pandu. After 8 months, when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu bid farewell to Raghunātha Bhaṭṭa, the Lord flatly forbade him to marry. Do not marry, the Lord said, because Raghunātha Bhaṭṭa Gosvāmī is going to be a Gosvāmī, so he didn't want him to get married. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said to Raghunātha Bhaṭṭa, when you return home, serve your aged father and mother who are devotees and try to study Srimad Bhagavatam when a pure Vaishnava who have realized God. So this is the instructions. Vriddha mata pitarayai karaha sevana Vaishnava pasha bhagavata kara adhyayana. Vaishnava pasha bhagavata kara adhyayana. Okay, so how can we study Bhagavatam? Jao Bhagavat pado Vaishnavera sthane. Ekanta ashraya karo Chaitanya charane. Chaitanyera bhaktagana nityakara sangha. Tadabi janiya siddhanta samudra taranga. We have to learn Bhagavatam in the association of Vaishnavas, and we have to take shelter of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Okay. Yeah. So this is again an instruction to all of us that we have to study Srimad Bhagavatam from a pure Vaishnava who have realized God. Okay, we have to study Bhagavatam. That's what we are studying from Prabhupada. Now, Prabhupada have made the Bhagavatam so easy for us. Bhagavatam is somewhere, we are somewhere. Now, before coming to Krishna consciousness, Bhagavatam, when I go to these Bhagavatam reciters and Saptah and all, I like such big slokas, and how are they able to understand 18,000 slokas? But when you read Srila Prabhupada's Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam commentaries and the purports, so it looks so simple. Prabhupada when you read the verse, you won't understand anything. When you read translation, little you understand. But when you read the purport, everything is clear. Now, Prabhupada makes it so clear, and it's so clear for us to understand that that's because he's a pure Vaishnava who have realized God. Tattvadarshi. So we have to hear Bhagavatam or learn from such devotees. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu concluded, come again to Nilachal, Jagannath Puri. After saying this, the Lord put his own neck beads on Raghunātha Bhatt's neck. So this is again a blessings, right? Which is a blessings, as I said. Tava upabhukta shriganda vaso alangara charchita uchishta bhojanam dasas tava mayam jayami. So the garlands or the neck beads which Mahaprabhu Krishna used was given to Raghunātha Bhatta Gosvāmī, was a manjari. Then the Lord embraced him and bade him farewell. Overwhelmed with ecstatic love, Raghunātha Bhatta began to cry due to immense separation from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It says that we have to cry for Krishna, cry in separation for Krishna. We cry watching mundane serials and films and all. Why can't we cry in separation from Krishna? Once Malti Devidasi Mataji and so Malti Devi Mataji's and Shyam Sundar Prabhu. They have a child called Saraswati. It's very 5 years old, and Prabhupada likes her so much. So somebody got a silver Krishna statue, small deity to Prabhupada as a gift. So Prabhupada gave to Saraswati that she keep it. So she was playing with that, and she always have that with her. And devotees were having fun with her. Like one devotee took it and started hiding it. So that devotee gave to another devotee, and finally it reached Prabhupada. Prabhupada's also hiding it just to play with her. Then she started searching. Oh, did you see my Krishna? Did you see my Krishna? She went to every room and asked everyone. All are like, no, we didn't see. Finally, she went to Prabhupada. And when she reached Prabhupada, her eyes were like full of tears. Very small girl. And she was so attached to the deity of Krishna that she's like, Prabhupada, did you see my Krishna? And she started crying. So Prabhupada's like, this is the mood of the Goswamis. The Goswamis are in separation from Krishna. Like that Saraswati was in separation from Krishna. She's like, where is my Krishna? Did you see my Krishna? Where is my Krishna? And they're crying. The Goswami Ashtaka, towards the end, the last verse of Goswami Ashtaka, he says, where are you? Hey Radhe, hey Krishna, where are you? Are you in Vamshi Vata? Are you in, where are you all hiding? No, we can't see you. It's like in separation. So finally, Prabhupada gave Krishna back to her, but then she was in separation. Prabhupada said, this is what. So if you can't cry for Krishna, cry that you can't cry for Krishna. That's what it says. After taking permission from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and all the devotees headed by Swarupa Damodar, Raghunātha Bhaṭṭa returned to Varanasi. In accordance with the instructions of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he continuously rendered service to his mother and father for 4 years. He also regularly studied Srimad Bhagavatam from a self-realized Vaishnavasi. So this is Vani Seva. Prabhupada also gave us instructions to preach Krishna consciousness, to distribute his books, to read his books. Prabhupada says, read my books. So if we follow his Vani, Vapu, Prabhupada is not physically with us, even though he's there, in his books. The pure souls eternally live. He's always there. We can associate with him. But then Vani is more stronger. Vani Seva is more stronger than Vapu. So here, Raghunātha Bhaṭṭa Goswami started serving his mother and father because Mahaprabhu said, and also he regularly studied Bhagavatam from a self-realized Vaishnava. Otherwise, what happens? Prati Akshara Parati Artha Nana, Prati Akshara of Srimad Bhagavatam has Nana Arthakaya. Prati Vakya, Prati Akshara Nana Arthakaya. That means every word and every syllable of Bhagavatam has different meanings. But if you don't read from a self-realized person, somebody was just reading the translation in Bhagavatam, it won't help. It won't help. It will help because it's Bhagavatam, it's not different from Krishna, but it won't really help us because we're conditioned soul. And unless we read the purports of Srila Prabhupada, that's very unique of Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami purports. These are the devotional ecstasy of Prabhupada. So we have to read the purports also and study Bhagavatam from a self-realized Vaishnava. Thus, his parents died at Kashi, Varanasi, and became detached. He therefore returned to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, giving up all relationship with his home. As previously, Raghunātha remained continuously with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for 8 months. Then the Lord gave him the following order. So what is the order which Mahaprabhu gave? My dear Raghunātha, my order is to go to Vrindavan and live there under the care of Rupa and Sanatana Goswami. So Mahaprabhu is sending one by one, right? So among Rupa and Sanatana, who went to Vrindavan first in the chat? Who went? After that, Mahaprabhu started sending one by one. Who went to Vrindavan first? But Sanatana Goswami is elder brother, no? Rupa Goswami went first, yes. Where was Sanatana Goswami that time? Sanatana Goswami is elder, but yes, Rupa Goswami went, that's true. But where was Sanatana Goswami that time? Jail, right? Shobhamali Mataji, remember, he was in jail because the Nawab Hussain Shah didn't allow Sanatana Goswami to retire. So he was in the prison. And then finally he had to bribe, whatever Rupa Goswami got money after retirement, he gave to Sanatana Goswami. Sanatana Goswami had to bribe the jailkeeper and then jumped and went. So he reached later. But Sanatana Goswami is eldest. And that's why we are called Rupanugas. We are Rupanugas. We follow Rupa Goswami. In Vrindavan, you should chant. So this is the second order. First is to go to Vrindavan. And in Vrindavan, what should you do? Chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra 24 hours a day. They are Goswamis, they are Manjaris, they can do like a Jagadānanda. We can't imitate. Prabhupada's like, Yeah, once Prabhupada's disciple asked Prabhupada, like, can I go to Vrindavan and just chant Hare Krishna, do nothing else, no service? And Prabhupada went on asking Prabhupada, and finally Prabhupada's like, don't imitate Haridas Thakur, don't do. But still the disciple wanted to go and Prabhupada let him go. So then what happened? Few years he was in Vrindavan chanting, but after that completely left Krishna consciousness. Completely. No, we can't become frustrated to chant 24 hours. That's why Prabhupada gave us minimum 16 rounds. Why? 2 hours you chant, rest 20 for 2 hours is for service. Right? In that, okay, it's different services you can do. And he said, chant Hare Krishna, read Srimad Bhagavatam continuously. When Narad Muni was asked, how many times should we hear and read Bhagavatam? And so Narad Muni said, Sada Sevya Srimad Bhagavati Katha. Yasya Shravana Matrena Hari Chittam Samashre Sata Sevya. Always read Srimad Bhagavati Katha. Why? Yasya Shravana Matrena, the moment we hear Bhagavatam, Hari Chittam Samashre, Krishna will enter your heart and sit. He won't leave. Because you are continuously reading Bhagavatam, Krishna will be so happy to hear about his devotees. No? Krishna is in your heart as Paramatma. Definitely, he'll be so happy when you read Bhagavatam. So Krishna will be always there. Krishna, the Supreme Personality Godhead, will very soon bestow his mercy upon you. So this is the order which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave to Raghunātha Gosvāmī. Bhagavata pada sada laha Krishna nama achireka ripena kripa Krishna Bhagavana. After saying this, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu embraced Raghunātha Bhaṭṭa, and by the Lord's mercy, Raghunath was enlivened with ecstatic love for Krishna. So he got Krishna Prema. At a festival, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has been given some unspiced betel and a garland of tulsi leaves, 14 cubits long. The garland has been worn by Lord Jagannath. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave a garland and betel to Raghunātha Bhaṭṭa. Remind me, okay? I'll tell a nice pastime about Jagannath's garland. Okay? I'll tell a story after the class. We'll finish soon, 139 slokas. So gave a garland and betel to Raghunātha Bhaṭṭa, who accepted them as a worshipful deity and preserved them very carefully. Taking permission from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Raghunātha Bhaṭṭa then departed from Vrindavan. When he arrived there, he put himself under the care of Rupa and Sanatana Goswami. When reciting Srimad Bhagavatam in the company of Rupa and Sanatana, Raghunātha Bhaṭṭa will be overwhelmed with ecstatic love for Krishna. Just imagine Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, Raghunātha Bhaṭṭa all sitting together and reciting Bhagavatam. They're all manjaris, and how much ecstasy there would be when you read Bhagavatam in the association of such advanced Vaishnavas. By the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he experienced the symptoms of ecstatic love. So only by the mercy of the Lord can we get all these symptoms. Tears, these are different symptoms. Tears, trembling, flattering of the voice. No, his eyes were filled with tears and the throat became choked, and he could not recite Srimad. This is the prayer Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sings in Shishtastakam. Nayanam Galadashrutaraya Vadanam Gadgadarutaya Gira Ulagay Nichitam Vapum Kata Tavanam Agrihane Bhavishyati. When will that day come when my eyes is filled with tears and my voice is choking and my hair stand on end when I hear Krishna Katha? No? So this is what is some of Ashta Sattvika Vihar. The tears comes, there will be trembling of the body, then the voice choke, and there will be perspiration, and there will be the heartbeat increases, and they'll fall unconscious. You know, sometimes the hair stand on end, blood start coming, the whole color of the body changes. So many symptoms of ecstatic love. His voice as sweet as a cuckoo, and he would recite each verse of Srimad Bhagavatam in 3 or 4 tunes. Thus his recitation were very sweet to hear. So there are different ways to recite Bhagavatam also, and this recitation was very sweet to hear from him. Raghunātha Bhaṭṭa Goswami. When he recited or heard about the beauty and sweetness of Krishna, he will be overwhelmed with ecstatic love and become oblivious to everything. See, so the sweetness and beauty of Krishna is described in Srimad Bhagavatam. So how can we say Krishna doesn't have a form? No, the whole Bhagavatam, it's not just any mundane scriptures. Srimad Bhagavatam is not just a mundane scriptures, right? It is the literary representation of Krishna. He's Krishna himself. Thus, Raghunātha Bhaṭṭa surrendered fully at the lotus feet of Lord Govinda. What is said about Bhagavatam? I forgot. Okay, so it's a spotless Purana. Srimad Bhagavatam Purana Mamalam, Yat Vaishnava, Pramana Mamalam, Yat Vaishnavanam Priyam. It's a spotless Purana. Yes, it's a spotless Purana which is said by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Thus, Raghunātha Bhaṭṭa surrendered fully at the lotus feet of Lord Govinda, and those lotus feet became his life and soul. Subsequently, Raghunātha Bhaṭṭa ordered his disciples to construct a temple for Govinda. He prepared various ornaments for Govinda, including a flute and a shark-shaped earrings. Lasat Kundalam, right? The shark-shaped earrings. Raghunātha Bhaṭṭa would neither hear nor speak about anything of the material world. This is what Mahaprabhu said, no? Gramya Varta na Shunibe na Bolibe. No, Gramya Katha, or it's the material things should not be heard or said. This is like Prajalpa. He would simply discuss Krishna and worship the Lord day and night. Just imagine how life is now, just discussing about Krishna and worshipping the Lord day and night. He would not listen to the blasphemy of a Vaishnava. Okay, this is again the first offense of the Lord, to blaspheme the devotees who have dedicated their life to propagate the holy name. And then someone says the blasphemy. If somebody is talking about a blasphemy of a Vaishnava, what are the three things which Rupa Goswami says in Nectar of Devotion? What should we do? Somebody is criticizing a Vaishnava and you're hearing it. So what are the three things we are supposed to do? I want to hear what Rupa Goswami says. He says in Nectar of Devotion. What does he say? When somebody criticizes a Vaishnava, what should we do?
We can show anger on him.
Huh?
We can show anger on him. That person who is criticizing.
Anger in the sense, that's one thing, transcendental anger.
You have to leave the place.
You leave that place, or you try to argue. Yeah. And what is the third one?
Suicide.
Give up your life. Yeah, Vilas Prabhu, that we can't do. Yeah? So yes, leave that place, that's better. Or give up your life, or argue, it seems. So arguing, again, it won't reach anywhere. Give up your life, we can't do that. This human form of life is very precious. And only thing is to leave that place. So he won't listen to the blasphemy of a Vaishnava. Nor would he listen to talk of a Vaishnava's misbehavior. He knew only that everyone was engaged in Krishna service. He did not understand anything else. That's a pure Vaishnava things. Everybody else is a Vaishnava except me. Now, that's what a pure Uttamadhikari thinks. When Raghunātha Bhaṭṭa Goswami was absorbed in remembrance of Lord Krishna, he would take the Tulsi garland and prasadam of Lord Jagannath and give it to him by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and bind them together and wear them on the neck. Thus, I have described the powerful mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by age. Raghunātha Bhaṭṭa Goswami remained constantly overwhelmed with ecstatic love for Krishna. In this chapter, I have spoken about three topics. One is Jagannath Pandit's visit to Vrindavan, then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu listening to the song of the Devadasi at the temple of Jagannath, and how Raghunātha Bhaṭṭa Goswami achieved ecstatic love of Krishna by the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that is Gaura Hari, bestows ecstatic love for Krishna upon anyone who hears all these topics with faith and love. This is a Shuddhi Phala. So we should hear it with faith, and then he will give us ecstatic love for Krishna. Praying at the lotus feet of Sri Rupa and Raghunātha, always desiring their mercy, I Krishna Dasa, narrate Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, following their footsteps. All glories to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu feelings the separation from Krishna. This chapter is very complicated. We won't be able to understand the bhav with which Mahaprabhu is having the separation. So much separation Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will feel. We didn't understand the separation of gopis from Krishna. What will we understand from Mahaprabhu's separation from Krishna? No, that's the highest of the Prilamba bhav. We'll see tomorrow how Mahaprabhu is feeling the separation from Krishna. Okay. Oh, Sharmila Mataji, thank you for reminding. So what happened once, Jagannath's garland, no? Jagannath have a nice garland that is put. And what normally, sometimes Tulsi garland, sometimes it will be made up of lotus and Padma Vesha. So whenever the king comes to take darshan, and this is from Jai Jagannath book by Bhakti Purushottam Maharaj. Now, Maharaj recently visited, and Maharaj have written so many pastimes of Jagannath, saying that the nice garland will be put for Jagannath. And whenever the king of Orissa comes to take darshan, that garland is given to that king. Normally, that's what happens. Like a Mahaprasad. The garland is taken by the pujaris and it's put to the king because he's the king. So one day the king went without informing, just like that. And then the pujari forgot to put a garland for Jagannath. He put a garland, but that was given to someone else, or somehow the garland was not there on Jagannath. Now what to do? The king has come. And those days, if you don't give the garland to the king, you're put into the jail, or you're put into, you will be killed. something like that, high punishment. So the pujari started panicking. What to do now? The king is coming, almost reached, and no garland on Jagannath. So when pujari was looking for a garland, he could not get any garland. There was a garland on the pujari's chest. From somewhere he got a garland he was wearing. So what did he do? Immediately he removed that garland and put it on Jagannath. What else to do? Otherwise he'll be killed. So there's no way to escape because king was about to come. So the pujari removed his own garland and put it on Jagannath. And everything was okay. When the king came, took nice darshan, king was so happy and king was waiting for the Mahaprasad, the garland. So, but then the pujari, what to do? So pujari in the mind asked forgiveness from Jagannath. Please, I'm just trying to save my life. So he took that garland and gave to the king. So the king was so happy and the king put it and went to his palace. And when he was removing that garland, the king was bald. He didn't have hair. So when the king was removing the garland, he saw a big hair on the garland. So the king was so angry. The king is like, I don't have hair, so this is not my hair. Lord Jagannath doesn't have hair, so this has to be the pujari's hair. That means the pujari has worn that garland and he put it to Jagannath. That's one great offense. And he gave it that to me. That is second offense. So the pujari has to be killed, immediately put into jail. So the people went to arrest pujari and the pujari was in the jail. And next day was a death sentence for the pujari. And the pujari started praying in the prison. Please, Jagannath, please, I did it to save my life. And now see, I'm going to die anyway. What is this? You are Bhaṭṭa Valsala and you're not coming to save me. And he started praying so much. Krishna is very merciful to his devotees. So what happened? Jagannath came in the dream of the king and said, who said I don't have hair? You think me, I don't have hair? Come to my temple tomorrow. I'll show you the evidence. So he got the dream and before killing him, let me at least go see the evidence. So the king went the next day. For his shock, he saw hairs on Jagannath. Actually, he doesn't have, but then still on that day, there was hairs on Jagannath and the turban was there. So the king is like, I can't believe this is some wig or something. You put extra hair. No, this artificial hair is available. You're putting extra hair on Jagannath. This is not real hair. So the king himself went to test it. He pulled the hair from Jagannath and blood started coming. He could not lift that hair. It was so attached in the sense it's original hair. And when he started pulling it with force, blood came from Jagannath. And immediately the king fell there. And Jagannath said, it's my hair. You think it's Pujari's hair? It was my hair only. And that's given as Mahaprasad for you. Why are you punishing my my Pujari or my devotee? Release him. And Krishna released him. And the Pujari could not believe, Are Jagannath have hair? Till now I was doing so many days puja. I never saw the hair on Jagannath. And when he went and checked, there was no hair. So it was Krishna playing. Krishna has to save his devotee, he'll do anything. Krishna can go to the extent of breaking his own promise by taking the wheel of the cart and march towards Bhishma, to protect Arjuna. So Krishna can do anything to save his devotees. I just remembered about the garland, about how the story of Jagannath. And then there's one more thing where a devotee got so many nice lotus flowers, from those days there was no buses or anything to go to the place. I mean, you have to walk and go. So the lotus is like, it becomes very, it get dried up very soon, the freshness will go. In the evening, it will become like very, very dried. So he, with so much happiness, he plucked all the lotus and was going to Jagannath Puri in a big basket so that it can be offered to Jagannath. But the time he reached Jagannath Puri, all the lotuses had become dried up and it was not fresh. So Pujari is like, we can't offer the dried ones to the Lord. It's offense to offer dried flowers to Krishna. And the devotee felt very bad. Oh, so much struggle. I struggled so much to get these flowers. Now what to do? And he didn't eat. And he was feeling so bad. So that night when Pujaris were putting Jagannath to sleep, and before that, there was, before Shaina Arati, there was another Arati. And that time they were putting the mukut for Jagannath. He was pushing it. Somehow the mukut was not standing. He was pushing that. And immediately what happens, when something wrong happens in the seva, the head Pujari goes and meditates. And then in that meditation, Jagannath comes and speaks to the pujari. So the Jagannath came and says, you offended my dear devotee, and my dear devotee is not happy. How can I be happy? Get all the flowers what he got and make a garland for me. So when the head pujari went and saw, all the flowers in the basket were so fresh, as if it was plucked just now. And then they made a beautiful garland with lotus. It's called Padma Vesha. There's some Vesha called Padma Vesha for the Lord. And they made a nice garland and put, because that's given out of love. No, it's just a offering. It's made up of love and devotion. Jai Jai Jagannath. So this is how Jagannath plays with the devotees. Okay, and they're all pure devotees. We can't play like that. They're all pure devotees. How the Lord comes and plays. Hare Krishna. He is a Paṇḍita Pavan. He is very merciful. Okay, so we'll do it tomorrow, chapter 14, and we have 6 more chapters to go. Separation from Krishna. We'll see you tomorrow. Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. Thursday, we won't have a class because it's Raghunātha. It's fasting till sunset, okay? So all of you fast. You can take Ekadashi fasting. And we'll have program in the temple, Abhishek and Kirtan and Pravachan on Raghunātha 30th. Then Sunday is Ekadashi. Okay, we'll finish. Next week, we can finish it. Anything to add? Hare Krishna. Okay, we'll wind up. Vanchakalpadarubhasya kripasindhube evacha patitanam pavanebha vaishnavebhyo namah manakodi vaishnavati ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai. Hare Krishna, everyone.
Hare Krishna.